The Charlotte Hornets winning ways continue as they're able to beat the Utah Jazz 115 to 107 and extend their winning streak to 4, but they can't carry that momentum over into Golden State as they fall to the Warriors 97 to 84, snapping that 4-game win streak. Time to recap. The new look post-trade deadline Hornets went into the All-Star break with a 3-game win streak, and they look to continue that newfound success by beating the Utah Jazz in Utah, a place that they haven't won in since 2006. No LaMelo Ball for this game. He missed his 12th consecutive game trying to manage that ankle, so the absence of an all-star caliber player didn't make things any easier in Utah. The best way to describe this game was that it was a game of runs, which can be said about just about every NBA game, but this game really fits that bill. There were points in every quarter when the Hornets offense stalled for, say, a 3 to 4 minute stretch, and that allowed the Jazz to either get back in the game or take the lead, especially in the third quarter. Although it was a close game all the way through, the turning point seemed to be in the fourth quarter at the 7:50 mark, where Davis Bertans and Miles Bridges made back-to-back threes, and they never trailed in the game after that. Speaking of the shooting, I've got to say that the Hornets had some good shooting luck in this game. The Hornets shot 47% from 3 in this game, which is actually in line with their averages for the new look team. But they were able to hold a Jazz team that shoots the 3 ball at 35%, right around league average. They were able to hold that team to 23% from 3, and that, along with the Jazz's 19 turnovers, really defined the ball game. Standout performers are going to be the leading scorers, Miles Bridges with his 26 points and Grant Williams with his 24 points off the bench, including 6 made threes. Those two really took over in the fourth quarter. But I also want to give a shout out to Davis Bertans. Going into this game, he's been having a rough go at it, shooting wise, only being able to connect on about 1 3 a game, which limited his minutes because if he's not hitting threes, then he's not totally useless out there because he still gets guarded like a threat, and that opens up driving lanes, so that's good. But if he's not hitting threes, then that decreases his impact on a basketball court. All of the new Hornets so far, except for Bertans, have had signature games where they were the main driving force for why the Hornets won. So although he wasn't this major driving force in this game, I like that he connected on all of his threes and they came at big times. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to close out the game. He left the fourth quarter early with a hyperextended knee, which caused him to miss the next game against the Warriors, so hopefully he gets well soon. But that was the story of Hornets versus Jazz. Now on to Hornets versus Warriors, which broke the Hornets' 4-game win streak. There's nothing really specific to key in on from this game because everything went wrong for the Hornets. First off, they're missing 2 of their best players in LaMelo Ball and Mark Williams, so there's that. Also, Bertans didn't play, and although he wasn't the sole reason why the Hornets lost this game, I've got to say that his impact and absence was felt as the Hornets didn't have his shooting and floor spacing, which made it easier for the Warriors to clog up the paint. So injuries definitely played a factor in this loss. Also, I have to mention that the foul calls definitely went the Warriors' way. Brandon Miller and Trey Mann picked up 3 fouls in the first half, and that made them sort of ineffective for the first half, and that sunk the Hornets' offense even more. Brandon Miller charged into pods uncontrollably, and that's how he picked up his 3rd foul. Okay, but they let Wiggins and Kuminga get away with the same stuff. They call an illegal screen on Grant Williams, but on the other end, they don't call one on Kevon Looney. In the moment, none of those calls were egregious. They were actually understandable, but when the refs don't call it both ways, that's when I have a problem. I don't believe that the Hornets lost this game because of the officiating, but they definitely didn't help. And I'm not that upset over the officiating because years ago, I've accepted that the NBA is a business, so it makes sense why the NBA would push for the prestigious Warriors over the lowly Hornets. So yeah, it just is what it is. I understand it. So the officiating was bad, but the biggest reason why the Hornets lost this game was because they beat themselves with their bad offense. 36% from the field, 28% from three when they were shooting in the 40s, and they had 18 turnovers. No standout performers because no one played good offensively for the Hornets, which is a shame because the Warriors didn't play well offensively either, and even though the Hornets were down 20 at points, it still felt like a winnable game that the Hornets could win if they strung together like a 14-3 run, but that never happened. Also, just got to throw in that Grant Williams and Lester Quinones of the Warriors were ejected after a scuffle at the end of the game. It's an unwritten rule to just hold the ball when there's like 20 seconds left and the game is out of reach, but Lester didn't follow those rules. That led to a scuffle, and that's how Grant and Lester got ejected. This game was supposed to be a showdown with the Hornets and Warriors on a roll and the Curry brothers battling it out, but this ended up being a big letdown for sure, especially since this was a very late 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time tip-off time. The Hornets' next 4 games are against the Trailblazers and Bucks on the road, then they'll come back home to play the Bucks again, then they'll go on the road to play the 76ers. All right, that's about it.